Hello, welcome to Jessie at Home. In this video I'm going to show you the Celtic weave cable, and for the video I am using Barocco Comfort yarn and I'm using a Furls J crochet hook, wooden crochet hook. And here is a sample of what we will be making. So this is just a little swatch. It teaches you the Celtic weave stitch. So let's move this out of the way. Now to begin, you want a row of 18 double crochet, which I just did a foundation crochet of 18, foundation double crochet of 18. You can chain 20 double crochet in the fourth chain from the hook, and those 3 chains that you skipped count as your first stitch, and then double crochet in each remaining chain, and that'll give you 18 double crochet. Now what we're going to do is turn and chain 2, which counts as your first half double crochet. This is actually only a 2-row repeat. So we're just going to learn these first 2 rows, and then you just can rewind the video if you need a refresher on the 2 rows again. So we've chained 2, which count as our first stitch. It's a half double crochet. We're skipping 2 stitches and front post treble crochet around the next 2 stitches. So remember, this first stitch we've already worked into with that chain 2. So we're skipping these 2 and front post trebling into these 2. This one was our first stitch we already worked. We're skipping these 2 and front post trebling into these 2. Okay. Now, front post treble around the 2 skipped stitches, working in front of the previous 2 stitches. So we're going to front post treble around these 2 that we skipped, working in front of the 2 that we just made. So just kind of push them to the back and go around the first one we skipped. And then go around the second one we skipped. Oops, and I almost did a double instead of a treble. Okay, now we repeat those 4 trebles across. So we skip the next 2, 1, 2, and we treble into the next 2. Front post treble into the next 2. Then we front post treble into the 2 that we skipped, working in front of the 2 we just made. It's cold here in Jersey. The heat just kicked on. Sorry for that. Now we're going to repeat that again. Skip these 2, front post treble into the next 2. Oopsie. That's what I get for looking at the computer screen instead of what I'm doing. And working in front of those 2, we're going to front post treble into the 2 that we skipped. And it looks like we have room for one more set. Yep. There's 4, and then there's that one last stitch that will remain. You do this until there's only 1 stitch remaining. So skip these 2, work into the, sorry, those 2 were worked into already. Skip these 2, work into these 2. Then go back and work into the 2 that you skipped. And then half double crochet into the very last stitch, so into this little set of chains here. Okay, and then we turn. And now we're going to do row 2, and then we just repeat rows 1 and 2 over and over again to get the pattern. So for row 2, we chain 2. We turn, we chain 2. Okay, back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. So back post double crochet, which means to come from the back. And when we're working across this, you'll notice the stitches are in a different order on the bottom of the row than they are on the top of the row. What matters to us is the order the stitches are in on the top of the row. That's the order that we use, the order on the top of the row. So these 2 stitches right here are our first 2, are our next 2 stitches. We half double crocheted, which counted as our first stitch. The chain 2 counted as our first half double crochet. And now we're going to back post double crochet into these 2 stitches. Now skip 2, back post treble around the next 2. So skipping these 2 right here, we back post treble around these 2. Back post treble gets 2 yarn overs. Need to pull out more yarn. Have a knot. Okay, that happens. There we go. Okay, now we're going to back post treble around the 2 skipped stitches, working behind the previous 2 stitches. This is where life gets a little difficult. We're going to back post treble into these 2 stitches, but we need to do it from behind these 2 right here. Okay, so back post treble starts with a 2 yarn over twice, and then we're going to go into this one, but you have to come all the way behind everything in order to do it. And then I kind of flip my work so I can see what I'm doing. And now here's the next one, and we have to go behind everything, which is not easy. Okay, we repeat those last 4 stitches. We skip 2 and we back post treble around the next 2. I am just dropping stitches left and right today. I'm using a larger hook to make it easier for you to see, but it's making me drop all my stitches. Oh my goodness. Apparently I need more coffee. Okay, now back post treble around the 2 stitches we skipped, but working behind the 2 we just made. So go behind everything and into these 2 stitches, into the first one that we skipped. And into the second one. Sorry, into the second one that we skipped. Okay, we do this until there's 2 stitches left, so we have room for another repeat. So skip these 2, and back post treble into these two. Then back post treble into the two skipped stitches, working behind everything. Behind everything. Oh my goodness. Okay, now there's, well, 3 stitches left. There's the 2 post stitches and the half double at the end. So 3 stitches remain. Back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. And half double crochet into the end. Okay. So this is the front now. I turned it over and we have the front, and you can see we're getting the beginning of this weave. If you keep repeating those last 2 rows that we did, then you will get this pattern. So if you need to look at them again, just rewind the video, go back to the beginning of the video and watch those 2 rows over again and keep going to get the pattern. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you.